The following program is a SUTV student production. The views expressed are not necessarily those of Salisbury University, the University System of Maryland, its regents, administration, officers, employees, or representatives.
Coming up on tonight's broadcast, with the spring semester underway, Brooke Reese brings us a story on what efforts are being made on campus to improve student wellness and how students can get involved. And after the campus's closing yesterday, SUTV collected footage across the university to monitor Winter Storm Octavia's aftermath. And SUTV sports correspondents caught up with the men's lacrosse coach to discuss this season's expectations and how they are working to achieve them. You're watching SUTV Evening News. Good evening and welcome to the first SUTV Evening News for the spring semester this February 18th, 2015. I'm Sarah Wood. We begin tonight's broadcast with insight into what efforts are being made here at Salisbury University to improve aspects of fitness for students. Brooke Reese was at the kickoff event and brings us that story tonight.
The Student Wellness Program here at Salisbury University kicked off their first ever event in the Fireside Lounge on Monday. The program gives students a chance to embrace their health components that are better suited to their lifestyles.
Well, faculty and staff focus on how to stay healthy at work and how to make sure you're moving around. And students, I don't think, realize all the resources we have already. You know, we have the Student Counseling Center for free. We have student activities events for free. A lot of things are already built into their tuition that they're not really aware of. And it's important to me, now that tuition's gone up, that students are really aware of all the things that they have that are built into their tuition so they can maximize all of the money that they're spending. When we first were launching this program, we had nothing. So we created a motto, we created our goals, our mission statement. We created what our components were going to be, because some people have 6 components to their wellness wheel. We felt like 8 was really important. Once we created that, we revamped the entire website. We stripped it clean. We put recipes on there, we put our motto, we put resources for students. So if students don't want to have to call somebody, they can just check it for a number of someone who they need to call. Well, on 4/20, which is going to be easy for students to remember, we have the Wellness Fair. So we're going to have a whole thing outside in the Henson lawn where we're going to have music and WXSU, and we're going to have activities for students. And that's where we're going to actually merge with faculty and staff so that people can see the difference, that they're going to be able to see both together and see that we're in this together, but we meet separate needs.
The 8 components that the Student Wellness Program hopes to focus on are social, environmental, spiritual, physical, financial, intellectual, emotional, and occupational. Visit their website for more information about their upcoming events. For SUTV Evening News, this is Brooke Reese.
Thanks, Brooke. SU and surrounding areas face cancellations and delays due to the stormy weather. According to SUTV's own weather forecaster, Emily Lewis, Salisbury received 6 to 8 inches of snow. As the storm approached Monday late afternoon into the evening, SU made the call to cancel the classes on Tuesday. Today, students were back in class returning to studies despite the chilly temperatures. And some students took advantage of the snowy day, such as the SU Quidditch team, by braving the cold temperatures to continue practice. Carly Nichols and Emily Lewis covered that story, and a special report can be found online. And Taylor Rogers takes us back with Today in History live as he highlights some of the events that may have helped shape students here at SU.
Thanks, Sarah. Well, we're back for another semester of Today in History. And this whole month of February, I'm going to be highlighting some important distinctions with Black History Month. On this day in 1919, W.E.B. Du Bois organized the Pan-African Congress in Paris, France. This Congress would consist of a series of meetings from 1919 to 1994 to address the European colonization issues throughout Africa. 57 delegates from 15 countries attended the first meeting to eliminate racial discrimination and civil rights for Africans. The purpose of the meeting was to adopt resolutions for Africa's own government and to ensure protection from the League of Nations. During this time, Du Bois would become one of the founders of the NAACP and become their director of publicity and research. This Friday would have been would have been 197th birthday, Frederick Douglass, excuse me. Douglass would become famous for his 1845 publication of his autobiography, Narrative of the Life of Frederick Douglass, an American Slave. This bestseller would exploit the harsh conditions Douglass encountered as a slave and add a voice for racial equality. Later, Douglass would serve many political positions and become the first African American to be nominated for vice presidency in the Equal Rights Party ticket in 1872. And here at SU, many organizations have been celebrating Black History Month, including the Office of Multicultural Student Services and SU's own NAACP chapter. Last week, people came to the Commuter Room for a presentation from the chairman of the NAACP National Board of Directors, Rosalind Brock. During the keynote address titled "Courage Will Not Skip This Generation," Brock discussed her appreciation for last semester's protest for justice against the treatment of African Americans on a national level. She also addressed how students should influence society's future.
Community of justice seekers, that's you, are invited to join us. I see you. I see you. Of the burgeoning army of freedom fighters who are rising up and showing yourself strong and showing yourself mighty. We need all of you to come together so that we can breathe new life.
And that's all I have for your Black History Month update. Tune in next week to see why this campus recognizes Harriet Tubman as a part of SU's sculpture collection. Now back to you, Sarah.
Thanks, Taylor. And the 12th annual Tim Kenner 10-mile River Run 5K Run Walk, non-competitive 5K walk, and 10-mile team relay is scheduled for 9 a.m. Sunday, March 1st. Comcast will be presenting the event with SU hosting it. The race will be held in memory of a local runner, Tim Kennard, who died back in 2004 from kidney cancer. The proceeds will go to assisting children and animals through programs including Coastal Hospice, the Salisbury Horizon Student Enrichment Program, Coalition of Caring, and VSCOA Pause. And on February 5th, SU President Janet Dudley Eschbach addressed the campus community at the Campus Consortium, where she highlighted the effects that the University System of Maryland budget cuts will mean for SU and sister universities.
And so our cut is a little over $40 million. And the reason that's problematic, we were told to expect a cut. We were actually given a number back in November, and we were prepared to deal with that. The problem is this number of $40 million is 5 times more than what we had been told. And Salisbury University's share of that budget cut that we must achieve, this is money we have to find to give back by June 30th. Again, our number, say, call it $1.5 million. The tuition increase, which was extraordinary. I had to make the decision. We were offered the possibility of raising tuition for students who are here now who thought they were paying one rate of tuition. And frankly, the president's agonized over this. Is it fair to ask that students pay more when they're, for all practical purposes, already enrolled? 4 campuses, College Park, Towson, Frostburg, and Salisbury, did decide to increase. And by the way, the governor said yes, he would support this, and numerous key legislators were on board with it. So the tuition increase was 2%, which represents $62. Out-of-state tuition was also raised by $62. And that yields for us $341,000. And again, if you have ideas or questions, anything, send me an email. If I don't know the answer, I'll get it for you.
And SUTV will follow up later with the effects the budget cut may have. Here on campus, there are many ways for students to get involved with the campus community. Commuter Connections is one way for students commuting to Salisbury University to stay active in campus life despite the trip. Every Wednesday morning, there is also the opportunity for commuters to participate in a free commuter breakfast. Starting up is the Commuter Lunch Series for Spring 2015, where resources available for commuters will be highlighted, as well as some workshops. Commuter Connections can be found in the Guerrero University Center, and here are the most recent statistics for SU sports from the past games this past Saturday. Here with us live tonight is sports correspondent Amir Carter with a breakdown of what is happening in SU sports and what to expect. All right, Amir, so what can we expect in SU sports going forward in this spring 2015 semester?
Well, definitely you can expect success, mostly from the teams. They've done an excellent job playing, and let's start off with baseball just to keep up with them. So they had an excellent game versus Marymount, and Virginia Wesleyan College. And in that game, in the beginning of the game, it was 3-0. I mean, the pitcher, Brett Kalachi, he did an excellent job starting off good. The defense did a great job. And it was just so much teamwork. As the game continued on, they still were holding on to defense. They let a couple runs get in. I think the other team got 2 runs in about the 5th inning or so. But that defense was just so strong, and then there's the teamwork with sacrifice bunts, getting in runs and things like that, doing sack flies, and just showing that the team was just the offense was just excellent, and I was just so proud of them reading over this game and looking at it. So they're definitely going to have some promise going on with this season.
So what about softball? What do we have in softball?
Oh, well, softball's team, they don't start off till next week, I want to say.
Okay.
Sometime next week. But some good news is that Salisbury leads the CAC with 16 silver anniversary team honorees. So basically it's like a decades team, just showing that they have the best players from that time period, and they're showing people. So we had 16 of those people in the CAC, so that's obviously a great accomplishment. That's almost this whole team.
Yeah.
And then with women's basketball, they had a pink game, and they played Frostburg State. And that game was just, it was interesting to watch. The other team was only, I want to say, 4-16, and our team is 22-1. And we played kind of sluggish a little in the first half. And then in the second half, it was just, the score was 14-40. Like, if you did the numbers just going at, so it showed that the team made adjustments to do better. Anna Hackett and Sarah Seep, I hope I pronounced her name correctly, but they did an excellent job just leading that team to victory.
So we can expect good things from them throughout the season.
Most definitely. I want to say they're number 15 in the country, something like that, and they're just the team, just so you can see the seniors as they're shown in the graphic, that the pink game. That's obviously the leaders of the team are doing an excellent job this season.
Definitely. So what about men's basketball? How are they doing overall?
Men's basketball, they're improving. When they started off, it was a little slow. They were just it was a different type of feel. They're not just a shooting team anymore. They have a couple more athletes, a couple more ball handlers, switching the team up a little bit. And with additions with Wyatt Smith, who actually just was a CAC Player of the Week.
Wow.
He did an excellent job with, I want to say, 16 points, along with Gordon Jeter, who has 7 rebounds to add to those 16 points.
Yeah.
So the team's really coming together, working hard, and showing they're 12-4 in the conference. So if they keep on winning, they'll definitely move forward.
Yeah, definitely. So what can we expect from men's lacrosse?
With men's lacrosse, obviously everybody's hoping that they make it back to the championship. And they're 1-1 right now. They actually had a tough loss at Lynchburg. It was 12-7. And that game, it really just wasn't going for them from the beginning. At one point, it was like 3-0, then 4-1. So they really didn't get going until late. And by that time, it was a little, too late for them to get into their groove. So, but they're good. They're just making adjustments, getting stuff together. We actually spoke with Coach Jim Burton, and so let's see what he said about the team moving on this season.
But I think there's a lot of optimism of the efforts of the offseason, that people have worked hard, gotten better, and that we're excited about our opportunities as the 2015 gets underway. The alumni here, they kind of have like an unwritten objective that everybody kind of feels as a player here, that if you don't make it to the championship game, it's not a good season.
Wow, so it looks like he has a lot of great things to say about the team moving forward this season.
Definitely. That last thing you said, if it doesn't matter if you get back to that championship. So we already know what their goals are. And last but definitely not least, women's lacrosse, the preseason #1 in the country.
Wow.
So we're already
Yeah.
expecting a lot from them. I just hope they get to, get back to go to the championship just like the boys team, because obviously lacrosse is a big sport here.
Definitely. I'm sure their coaches would have similar to say as the men's lacrosse coach.
Most definitely.
All right. Well, thank you for all that joined us here tonight for SUTV Evening News. Be sure to join us back here next Wednesday and tune in tomorrow to catch up with Eli Maudlin on The Rundown. From all of us here at SUTV, thank you and good night.